What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another viewer suggested video. If you're unfamiliar with what I've been doing lately, I have been taking suggestions from you guys, the viewers, and turning them into videos based on what you guys want to see. For today's video, we have something a little different. Now, I never really do videos much about myself, but I figured I could tie in a lot of the community with this video. Today's request for this video comes in from Supernova AKM72. Supernova says, I think it might be interesting and different to have a video devoted to what RS means to you. You could start with how you were introduced to RS back in the day, any breaks you took and why you started OSRS, and why you still play today. So I thought that was pretty good because this doesn't only apply to just me, but a lot of us 30-somethings out there that still play old school RuneScape even after all this time. Next year in 2023 will be 2 decades that I have been playing some form of RuneScape. So let's hop into that and take a look at why most of us might still play this game. Before we get into today's video, I want to take a minute to thank the sponsor, and that is eWin Racing. eWin Racing makes amazing and affordable gaming chairs and desks. Most of the gaming furniture is manufactured by the same place and then simply rebranded based on the company selling it. So with that in mind, why not spend a little less for the same great quality? These chairs and desks feature quality materials that are incredibly durable and will definitely stand the test of time. eWin has a range of comfortable, ergonomic gaming chairs that can support people from 5 feet tall all the way up to 7 feet and beyond. eWin also provides many different color schemes to choose from, so you'll be able to find exactly what works for you. Remember that at the time of this video, Black Friday is just a few days away and the sales are going on now. At checkout, use code AsukaYen for 20% off of your entire purchase. If you're happening to grab something for over $359, you can use code BF25 to get just a little bit more off than my code. But if you missed the sale, don't worry, my 20% off code works year-round on anything from the eWin store. All right, guys, so let's get into this content. So what are we looking at here? How did we start playing RuneScape, or how did I start more specifically? What keeps us going? Why do we want to keep playing this game after decades, literally decades, plural? But we're going to start with how I got started with old school RuneScape. I'll actually never forget, I was in my social studies class my freshman year of high school, which was in 2003. A friend of mine at the time, who actually switched schools after that year, kind of fell out, never really talked again, but he said he found this great game, it's called RuneScape, I should try it. Now, at that time, I had never played an MMORPG. It was just Call of Duty, Halo, things like that for me. So that was when RuneScape really took off for me. I wasn't super interested in it at first. I played here and there, maybe a couple times a week. But then as I started getting levels, it kind of started to grow on me. And it was just more and more. I had to play more, had to get more levels, had to get more experience. And eventually I'd met a few people, started doing things in the game with them, and then PKing started to be a big thing for me, met even more people, joined a clan. So that's really how I got into RuneScape. For me, before old school RuneScape, it was mostly just all about PKing and the duel arena. Before old school, I felt like I wasn't that much of an adult, so all I did was make money just to blow it again on PKing and staking. And I'm sure a lot of people out there can relate. I was a lot younger at the time, and I just really wanted everything to be PvP based. It was what made me happy at the time, although I didn't like grinding for all the money, especially back then. It's not like you had Vorkath around to drop you 120k GP every single time you got a kill. You actually had to grind back then. I'll never forget my first 99. Was 99 attack, and I got it with a dragon longsword. Little side note here, actually. I was one of the first people in the game when Slayer came out to get 85. I sold my first Abyssal Whip for 65 million GP, and that was a lot of money way back in the day. Slayer has always been my favorite skill ever since it came out way long ago. But yeah, that's really how I got started. And I'd definitely like to know how a lot of other people got started as well. One of my favorite things about being a YouTuber is getting to read the comments. Although I don't have the time to respond to all of them, I do like reading all of them. And I usually get through most of them. So I'd like to know how you guys started as well. You can leave that in the comment section down below. It'll be for good before bed reading for me. So I look forward to that if any of you guys want to drop that down there. Now here's the part that I think is more relatable to us as a whole in this old school RuneScape community rather than just myself, but it's more or less what old school RuneScape means to me and what it does for me. And I think this is a pretty broad spectrum, and it can apply, maybe not all of these things can apply to each individual person, but I think something in here will apply to each and every one of you that do watch this video. So the first thing for me is relaxation. And a lot of people say, how can you relax when you're playing old school RuneScape? It's so grindy. Well, that's what makes it relaxing for me. I love grindy games. Ever since I started playing old school RuneScape, I've ventured out into some other ones that also require pretty steep grinds, but something about the grind and just hanging out, getting experience. And a big thing for me is talking to people where I'm actually training something, which I actually don't get to do that much anymore because I've been maxed for a couple of years now. So I don't just sit around and train anymore. Most of my stuff is PVM, just trying to get drops, finish collection logs, all that. So that is one thing that I do miss. But it's the relaxation aspect of old school RuneScape that really pulled me in and kept me playing for all of these years. This is actually the first account that I've ever maxed. So being able to do that while still feeling a sense of relaxation, it meant a lot to me, and it was a really good way to go with the game. Building on that, old school RuneScape also brings a sense of peace to me, and it might bring it to you as well. I say it brings a sense of peace to me because there are a lot of people out there who would consider themselves elitists that want to get every single damage tick. They want to do 2-tick, 3-tick fishing, wood cutting. They want to be as efficient as possible. And if that brings you relaxation and a sense of peace, by all means, more power to you, you do you. But for me, I go to work for 40 hours a week as a help desk technician. I fix people's computers, I talk to them, and that's 40 hours a week for me. When I come home and I want to sit down and play some RuneScape, I'm not going to sit down on my computer so I can be more efficient. I'm efficient for 40 hours a week at my full-time job. I come home just to relax, hang out, and literally do whatever I want in old school RuneScape. And there's nothing holding me back anymore. A lot of people say once you max, you can finally play the game. And they're not wrong, for the most part. There's nothing, absolutely nothing holding my account back. I have access to everything in the game, all quests completed, achievement diaries, max stats. Everything I have is literally at my fingertips, but I had to work hard for that, and I'm happy I did it. Some people say that old school RuneScape or any games is a waste of time, but is something really a waste of time if you thoroughly enjoy it? I don't think so. Old school RuneScape also brings me a sense of nostalgia. Old school RuneScape takes me back to gaming times where not everything had to be super complicated with incredible plots and super hard mechanics. There are some mechanics in old school RuneScape that can be a little bit troublesome, but they are easily overcome with practice and muscle memory. Nostalgia for me in RuneScape is one of the great things because it makes me look back on my life and where I've been. I can pair certain things that I've done in the game with memories of life, things that were happening at the time, and I think that means a lot. You know, it's something that you truly enjoy or something that really brings back a memory from a long time ago. Old school RuneScape's gotten me through a lot of stuff in my life. I've battled a lot of different demons, I guess you could say, which might be something for another video, but this game has always been there through that, and it helped me move forward and actually grow as a person. Even though you don't meet people in the game like in real life, it still gives you a slight sense of social skills to talk to people that you've never met. And it might be easier because you can't see them from face to face, but it still helps you along when you're, just talking to people that you've never met. Some of the conversations that I've had have been super deep and super eye-opening. Something else that might mean to me is satisfaction and achievement. Old school RuneScape definitely brings me satisfaction and achievement because this game is grindy, like I was talking about a little bit ago. And with that in mind, how can you not be satisfied and have a sense of achievement when you get a 99? Or even when you just get something like 85 Slayer. 85 Slayer is a landmark for anybody playing this game. You can finally kill Abyssal Demons. You can finally get Abyssal Whip drops. Ever since the Slayer skill came out, it's still been a thing, especially in this version of the game in old school. Once you hit 85 Slayer, it's like, yes, finally, I can get my own whips. I can go kill 3,000 Abyssal Demons and probably not get one because my luck sucks. But yeah, Satisfaction and achievement are definitely two things that old school RuneScape makes me think. A little bit on the sadder side, old school does bring me a bit of sadness from time to time. There are tons of friends that I've went through who have been, gone for a long time, never came back. I had friends that I played this game with from the time that I started all the way up until now. Then you just never see them log back on. It's just a day where they're gone and then you never talk to them again. A lot of the people I talk to in this game, I don't have contact with outside of the game. Some on Discord. I have talked to quite a few friends from way back in the day who end up messaging me and they're like, wow, you're a YouTuber now. And then we go down that rabbit hole for a while. But there's some other things like the flax fields. I'm sure a lot of you out there can remember the flax fields south of the Sears Bank. The Waterfall Fire Giants was a great place to train way back in the day. You could safe spot the Fire Giants, train range with your iron darts forever and ever. Maple trees and the yew trees above Sears Bank and below the flax field for the yew trees used to be incredibly busy all the time. You'd get like 2 logs before the tree would go down. I mean, there were 10, 20, 30 people at one point in every single world at the maple and the yew trees when maple logs were worth more than like 5 GP, whatever they are now. The magic trees, those as well. Pretty much anywhere you went in the game back in 2006, 7, it was packed. I mean, every world had over 1,500 people in it. They had to keep constantly adding worlds because people couldn't get in. Worlds were full all the time. World 2, Falador, where you went to trade. And some of that, it'll never come back because it was a time period in the game that just happened to be at that time. And then Jagex ruined everything. I'm not going to sugarcoat it with the bounty hunter and the no free trade, all that. Like you ruined it. You ruined all of what you could have. Who knows? Maybe we'd be in that same position still today if that never happened. We could still have 2,000 people all the time in World 2. You could still have 10, 20, 30 people at the same training spots everywhere, fighting for resources. Pretty much like an MMO should be. But yeah, the sadness aspect of it, it definitely does happen from time to time, especially when I pass through an area that used to be so frequented with people. But how long will we play old school RuneScape? How long will I play old school RuneScape? I don't know. Probably until old school RuneScape doesn't exist anymore. Like I said, I play old school RuneScape nowadays to relax, learn things, to make videos. One of my most enjoyable things is making videos and guides for people to help them through the game, just as I was helped all those years ago. So I use my knowledge of 20 years of playing this game to put together videos. I don't think I'll ever stop playing until I'm pretty much forced to stop playing. Whenever the servers go down, that is probably when it will be it for me. But I have taken breaks through over the years. We all have. You don't actually quit RuneScape, you just go AFK. And I was AFK for a few years. After 2011, I think it was. I don't think I started playing old school RuneScape till 3 years later or so. After the poll passed and it had been around for a little while, because I wasn't going to start something if it didn't stick around. So I waited until old school RuneScape started. I gave it 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it was. And then finally created a brand new account. I didn't transfer my old one over. I didn't use it. I created a brand new account and got back into the game. And from there, it was just, I already knew what to do. I knew everything that I had to do. And it made it a lot easier. And going through and watching videos and stuff on old school RuneScape was really ultimately what got me into YouTubing. So I would watch guides on things for newer bosses that didn't exist back in the day, and they were missing information, or they just weren't accurate, or it was so simple, like do this, then do that, and you're done. And I was like, I can do that better. I can do a better job on that, helping people to figure something out than these were. And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. That's not like me. But some of those guides out there were definitely lacking. So I wanted to get into YouTubing. I wanted to get into making guides and learning everything I could about the game. And one little particular tidbit of information I'll leave you with before we end this video is we're going to talk about my dad. This is one thing that will never escape me. When I started playing old school RuneScape, I was playing for about 6 months, and then I finally asked him if he could get me membership. At the time, I was like 13 years old. I didn't have my own credit card. I had to get dad to pay for my membership, which at the time was $5. He said he didn't want to, and I was like, all right, well, I'll do these chores, and these chores, as long as you'll pay for me to have some old school RuneScape. So we came to an agreement, and then I played, and I played, and I played, and I played into the night, all night, stayed up all night, and this dude was constantly yelling at me. If you don't turn that game off, I'm gonna unplug the modem. If you don't stop playing that and go get a job, I'm gonna unplug the modem. And you know, keep in mind I'm like 16, 17 at this time. Now I did all those things. I did stop playing when he asked me to if I was being too loud. Especially I get pissed off when I'm PKing and die. I'd yell at 3 in the morning. We've all been there. Maybe not. Maybe you haven't been there. Regardless, one of the biggest things that he always told me was, this game is never going to do anything for you. You're wasting your life away in front of a computer screen. Now, for about 13 years, he was right. And now every single chance that I get, I'm like, hey, Dad, remember when you told me that RuneScape was never going to do anything for me? And then he just rolls his eyes. He's like, I don't want to hear it. And then he has to come to the realization that he told me that for all those years, but I turned it into a profitable YouTube channel, which is now a sole proprietor business in my name, which I have branched out in different avenues. So RuneScape did a lot for me throughout the years. And I don't only have respect for this game just for allowing me to relax, bringing me a sense of peace, satisfaction, achievement. It's all about being able to build something off of the game. Not everybody can do that, but everybody does have the opportunity to try. So if you were ever thinking about becoming a content creator, this is your message to at least try. If it's not for you, then you can stop. But if you ever had a thought that maybe you want to make videos, my advice for you is just find something unique and do it as if you would enjoy watching something like that. Because it'll help along the way, and you never know. You might help other people along the way as well. So I think that's going to wrap this one up. I think it's been a little bit sobering, but maybe this video has made you think about old school RuneScape and what it has done for you throughout the years in a different way. And if it has, then I think mission accomplished. So Supernova AKM72, I hope that I have thoroughly answered all of the questions that you posed in your video request. I don't normally do videos like this, but I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about some of this stuff, so it was definitely my favorite suggestion. If you're looking to make a suggestion for one of these videos, keep an eye on my community tab. That is where I will be asking for the video topic of next week. As always, thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, tap that subscribe button on your way out. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thumbs up and likes definitely help the video spread around. They help it get recommended to more people. So yeah, do that for me, please. Don't forget, if you are looking for a good deal on a gaming chair or desk, you head over to ewinracing.com and check out everything they have to offer. Use code AsukaYen for 20% off your entire purchase. If you're ordering something $359 or more, use code BF25 for 25% off of your purchase. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one. Take it easy.